Let's talk about Langston University. Let's talk about Charles Davis. Let's talk about the Northeast High School and their Afro American organization. Let's talk about Miss Black Oklahoma. Let's talk. This is the essence of our program today. Clara Luper reporting. This program today, Let's Talk, is being brought to you by Gates Barbershop. Gates Barbershop is located at 2609 North Martin L. King. And the good news is Mr. Gamba is back. And when I say he's back, he's back. His customers were so happy that he had returned. Gates Barbershop, and you can get your hair cut today. You don't have to wait. All you have to do is just go in and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Let's talk today about the March for Jesus. And I expect one of the ministers, Reverend Jerry Mash, to call and tell you all about it. Let's talk about Avery Chapel AME Church and its Women's Day program tomorrow. Let's talk. That's the essence of the Clara Luper radio show on this day. Let's talk about what happened May 17, 1954, when the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that segregation has no place in education. What a day. What a rejoicing. May 17, 1954, which was the constitutionally end of segregated schools. However, in Oklahoma City, we are ashamed because we have gone back to a sophisticated, well-manipulated scheme of all black schools. What a pity. I feel sorry for the black students and the white students that are going to have to compete in a competitive society. Congratulations, the United States of America walked off last night with Miss Universe, and certainly we all are very happy. Hometown is open all day, 24 hours, 2001 Northeast 23rd Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Hometown appreciates your business. 2001 Northeast 23rd Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Let's talk. Dr. A.L. Dow, 934 Northeast 8th Street. The telephone number is 2350536. You may call and get an appointment and get those beautiful eyes of yours tested. Not only that, you can get your children's eyes tested, your grandparents' eyes tested. All at Dr. A.L. Dow, located at 934 Northeast 8th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Remember, the telephone number is 2350536. Let's talk about Johnson's Shardina's Preschool and Nursery. Located at 1643 Northeast 50th Street. The telephone number is 424-4656 or 427-5274. Now, it's also located at 2611 North Martin Luther King Avenue. Johnson Shardina's is open 6 days a week. They are now taking applications Monday through Friday from 6 to 10, Saturday from 7 to 8. You can get any kind of service you want. Now, one thing that they will do for you, they will see to it that your child gets the best. And the best means that Miss Smallwood and others are there to take care of your child. What else could you ask for? Yes, they have breakfast, they have snacks, lunch, and they have snacks. They are DHS approved. They accept drop-ins. They play games. And remember, breakfast, lunch, and snack. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Qualified teachers. All you have to do is to call Mrs. Gloria Matthews. Those of you that will be attending Miss Black Oklahoma, you will be able to see the hospitality chairperson of the pageant, Mrs. Gloria Matthews, in different moods. You will see her at her very best. There's a whole page in that is dedicated to Mrs. Gloria Matthews. So you want to get those still pictures changed to VCR. You don't have to worry anymore. Please call Nathaniel Cobb, 424-1591. When I think of Africa, the motherland, I think of the beauty of Africa. The beauty of Africa unfolds every day at 6006 Southwestern in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. 6006 Southwestern Gideon 300 store. The telephone number is 632-0770. And if you don't believe they will take you to the beauty of Africa, you go to 6006 Southwestern. They have African clothes, African food, African art, name it, and they have it. You need to know the different cultures of the world, and certainly a beauty of Africa is well illustrated at Gideon's 300 store in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So you need some carpet. Discount Carpet, located at 501 Northwest 23rd Street. They have carpet that's discounted. Quality mattress from $39.95 on up. Mattresses from $39.95 on up. They specialize in commercial jobs for churches. And they have done churches all over Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. They will give you a 10% discount if you're a senior citizen. And don't forget now, they have carpet as low as $4.99 a square yard, and they will install that carpet for you at a small price. But maybe you are interested in pictures and lamps. Then go to Discount Carpet, 501 Northwest 23rd Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Let's talk about Langston University. Let's talk about Langston University's homecoming. Oh, when I say homecoming, I mean graduation. This country has never seen anything like Langston's graduation. When I arrived at Langston, that stadium was packed. There were more people in the stadium than attend the homecoming activities, homecoming ceremony, and you know that was something. People were standing around the fence. All of the seats were taken. There were seats out on the football field. It was something to behold. But the artistic ability of Langston was clearly demonstrated with a sign that said from 1897 on one side, all in blue and white. Then excellence in education, and another sign which stated 1997. The band was there. The music was out of sight. Then the sound. And we looked back and we saw the classes of 1900 and representatives of classes from 1937, 1947, 1957, 1967, 1977, 1987. Oh, and they were marching in with dignity, with robes, those black robes, and they were looking good. And then we heard announcements of various departments. And now those thrilling 1997 graduates of Langston University marched in with dignity as the crowd sat in amazement. No one had seen anything like it, but backing up the crowd was the proud president of Langston University, Dr. Ernest Holloway, dressed in his PhD outfit, with his cap, with his cane, stepping like a king. It was something to behold. Langston University's 100th centennial graduation exercise. I know you were there, and let's talk about Langston University. Let's talk about people that came from all over this United States to Langston University to see it. They could not believe the improvements that have been made. They could not believe it. But oh, when Holly Somo sang that centennial song, tears began to roll down people's cheeks because we'd come a long ways. Let's talk about Langston University. The telephone number is 672-1220. 672-1220. Let's talk about Langston University and all of the fine graduates of Langston University. They were there. And I can say that I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to be at Langston University on its 100th annual, 100th home, I call it homecoming, but 100th graduation exercise. We had the opportunity to hear a Langston graduate that spoke out of her heart, Dr. Hare from San Francisco, California. Let's talk about Northeast High School and the African American Cultural Society Achievement Banquet that was held at Metro Tech on last Monday night. The theme was an Afrocentric touch by African American angels of our past, present, and future. Adam Strong, an AACS member, was the master of ceremony. The Honorable Reverend Lee E. Cooper Jr., the pastor of the Prospect Baptist Church, delivered the invocation. There were greetings by Renita Farrow. That was a litany that has been so well written that was delivered and led by Roderick Pickett. And I need not tell you about Mrs. Bennett and that fine musical ensemble. I need not tell you about her because you know she is one of the top music teachers. Cordelia Bennett, who is a director and professor of vocal music at Northeast High School, is one of our best. I was moved by poems and orations by Alberta Owens and Jamel Jackson. And then from John Marshall High School, a beautiful lady, Alicia Morris, gave us an Afrocentric dance. It was beautiful. Thais Dempsey introduced the guest speaker, Joyce Johnson Henderson, who was a former principal of Northeast High School, who is now the Director of Schools and Community Affairs for the Oklahoma City Public Schools. Joyce spoke out of her heart to young people in directing them toward their future. We shall never forget, for this our people, that was presented by the choral ensemble. I shall never forget the Artisha Harris, who presented me the Community Service Award. Nor shall I forget the flowers that were given to me by the NACP Youth Council and by the students from Northeast High School. I shall never forget seeing the special awards that were presented by Brian Fugit to those that had made the affair possible. Miss Nancy Lynn Davis is a sponsor and has done a tremendous job. Reverend Paul Harris has always been a part of progress, and certainly he was there adding his prayers to the occasion. Let's talk about Northeast High School. Let's talk about what they are doing there. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and this portion of our show is brought to you by your independent insurance agent, Marilyn Hildred. Marilyn say if you need some insurance, come out to her office, 730 North Britain Road. She wants you to come out, and she wants you to sit down with April Hildred, Calvin Luper, or Mildred, or Marilyn, and talk about your insurance policy. Don't go into anything blindfolded. If you're like me, you don't know anything about all of the mechanics that are involved in the insurance business, but you do know that you have to have some insurance. And certainly, I would go out and see Marilyn Hildred. Now, there are other agents that you can see, and certainly I would encourage those of you in Oklahoma City to support all agents. Well, today is a day that the ministers will be leading a march for Jesus. Reverend Mash is supposed to call me, and I'm sure he will. Now, that march will start on Washington Park at 9:30. I have been told by Reverend Mash that there will be about 10,000 people participating in the march. It's a march for Jesus. It's a march of reconciliation. It's a march of redemption. It's a march. And the information that I have, and I want to make sure that I had it correct to report to you, is the fact that the ministers, the black ministers, will meet at Washington Park. And there they will lead a march behind each minister. I'm sure it will be his congregation. And they will march down to the railroad tracks. When they get down to the railroad tracks, then the white ministers will join them with their congregation, and they're supposed to have thousands. And they will march on to Main and Robertson to the scene of the original sit-ins that started on August the 1958. And they will reenact that scene. They say they have 13 seats down there, and they have called for the original sit-ins to step forward because they want to, and I think the ministers will be sitting in the sit-in seat to show that times have changed in Oklahoma City. Then there will be a ceremony that I cannot tell you about, but it will be unusual, and if you want to see something happen that's unusual, you need to see that ceremony. They say it will be out of sight. It was something that Jesus did, and maybe the ministers say, well, we're going to do just like Jesus. That is really something to be commended, and I will tell you all about it. But in the meantime, I would like for you to go down in order that you can see for yourself. Nothing like this has ever happened in Oklahoma City. I know when we were down there sitting in, we were wishing for some ministers, but we didn't have them. But God works in mysterious ways, and that was in 1958 to 1964. But in 1997, those ministers are going to be marching for Jesus, and Reverend Mash and Reverend Reed and Reverend Tucker and others have had a vision, and their vision called for them to go back to that original spot. That original spot. And as I go down there today, I will go with some unusual memories. I will remember people that spit on us. I remember those that cursed us out. And then if you see me crying down there, don't worry about me, because there were many tears shed by Lillian Oliver, Theodosia Crawford, A. Willie James, and others on that spot downtown. It's a march for Jesus, and certainly I will be there. I have on my NAACP shirt, because once again, we know it was the NAACP that spearheaded that march in 1958. Calvin Luper will be there. Richard Brown, and some of the sit-inners will be there. They will be downtown at that big march. Clara Luper reporting on KTLV, and let's talk about Langston University. Let's talk about Northeast High School. Let's talk about the March for Jesus. And most of all, they want you to join the march. Wouldn't it be a pity if your minister would be down there and wouldn't be but 2 or 3 people behind him? Well, if the people march for Jesus, if you can't march for Jesus, run for Jesus. If you can't march, just be there anyway. Be on the sidelines. Show people that you are really supporting them. Yes, this is the Clara Luper Radio Show. So many of you have called me. I do have some more copies that have come in of the Black History Monument and Wall. Those of you that would like to have a copy, please call me at 672-1220 or call me at 424-3949. It is Miss Black Oklahoma time in Oklahoma. Miss Black Oklahoma time. And I have an article here, and this is going to shock all of you, because this article is, I'm going to read, it's from the Morris paper, the Morris newspaper, and the Okmulgee Daily Times. Now, the Morris News has a theme taken from Jeremiah. Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Well, the headlines, Morris Jr. participates. Morris from Morris High School. Gabrielle Kimberly Gibson, a student at Morris High School, who made her presence known when she launched out a new line of infinite hair care and beauty products developed by Tulsa-based company American Beauty Products. She is now entered the state Miss Black Oklahoma and is vying for that title. This is the first time in the 27-year history of the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant that Morris, Henrietta, and Grayson will be represented. This year's pageant will be held on Saturday, June the 21st at 7 o'clock in the McMahon Auditorium in Lawton, Oklahoma. That was headlines in the Morris newspaper. It was also headlines in the Okmulgee Daily Times last Sunday. It says Morris woman vies for Miss Black Oklahoma. And speaking of that, I need to remind you that this year's Miss Black Oklahoma is the largest one in our history. We have a beautiful young lady from Ripley, Oklahoma. And I don't believe you even know where Ripley, Oklahoma is. That will be vying for Miss Black, Oklahoma. Miss Black Ripley. Well, things are set now. Miss Black Ardmore will be represented by Jocelyn Roberts, Miss Black Broken Bow, Agnes Smith, Miss Black Cleveland County. I don't know about Miss Black Cleveland County, but Miss Black Clinton, Angela Miller, Miss Black Comanche County, Deshaun Weekly, Miss Black Duncan, Aisha Young, Miss Black Langston University, Quadrine Mitchell, Miss Black McCurtain County, Ann Owens, Miss Black Midwest City, Dana Kirk, Miss Black Luther, LaShonda Henry, Miss Black Muskogee, Shania Andy, Miss Black Muskogee County, Felicia Cope, Miss Black Norman, Erica Miles, Miss Black Northeastern, Ebony Johnson, Miss Black Oklahoma City, Tamika Cooksey, Miss Black Oklahoma County, Tania Austin, Miss Black Oklahoma State University, Terrence Shannon, Miss Black Okmulgee, Brennan Pierce, Miss Black Okmulgee County, Ursula Fatino, Miss Black Rose State, Catrice Jones, Miss Black Southeastern Oklahoma State University, Jonna Marie Kimbrough, Miss Black Southwestern Oklahoma State University, Nicole Bro, Miss Black Tulsa, Lakeisha Minor, Miss Black Tulsa County, Jacqueline M. Robinson, Miss Black UCO, Persephone Fletcher, Miss Black Wellston, Portia Wallace, Miss Black Westmore by Patrice Wooten, and Miss Black Oklahoma University, Kenny Morris. These young ladies will meet in Lawton, Oklahoma for the 28th annual Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. The staff is ready, and the staff consists of Conrad Allen, Jocelyn Brown, Onita Brown, Irma Caesar, Helen Daniel, Nancy Davis, Cheryl Davis, Carla Dewberry, Elnora Douglas, Carolyn Embry, Leola Ford, Benita Franklin, Betty and Patricia Germany, First Assistant Attorney Johnny Green, David Lee Hall, Dolly Hall, Carla Hayes, Alicia Hildred and Ellis Hildred, Merlin Hildred, Letty Ruth Hunter, Mary Johnson, Calvin Luper, Shelley Luper, Gloria Matthews, Nancy Moore, Sam Moore, Berlin Nero, Joyce Palmer, Wilma Ray, Thomas Redwine, Alice Strain, Bernice Sutton, Bosie Walker, Eva Knight Ware, Calvin Whitaker, Jeanette Williams, Mary Winines, C.P. Wilson, and Ray Ann Wilson. What a combination. The judges have been selected. Miss Sue Allen, an attorney from Bank One Tulsa, Bank One Texas, from Dallas, Texas. Ronald Blow, an educator from Austin, Texas. Mr. Joseph E. Fergus from Herndon, Virginia, the owner of the communication technology business. Mr. William Harris, a businessman from Bronx, New York. Mrs. Dorothy Hunter, an educator from Wichita, Kansas. Dr. Gloria Griffin, the superintendent of schools from Millwood High School District. Miss Lola McFall from Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Mrs. Leola Lee from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Dr. Littles from Oklahoma University. Mr. Jubilana Satolia from Langston University. Captain Burnett Smith from Enid, Oklahoma. Lieutenant Colonel Clyde Ellis from Fort Sill in Lawton, Oklahoma. Mrs. Elnora Douglas, Oklahoma City. Mrs. Mary Nguyen, Oklahoma City. Mr. Malachi Brown, DeSoto, Texas. And Mr. Richard Brown from Oklahoma City. It's all set, and they are ready to go. They are ready to go. Next week I'll be telling you about the pages and the extorts because it will be something to behold. Let's talk about Langston University. Let's talk about Northeast, and let's talk about Charles Davis. The telephone number is 672-1220. Let me repeat, 672-1220. Calvin is all smiling today, and I do know that you have something to talk about. What are you going to talk about? Which one of the subjects are you going to talk on today?
Mom, I would love to talk on all. I would love to talk on all the subjects, but today I'm really just like everyone else out in the radio listening audience. I'm getting ready for the big march that's happening downtown, and I'm looking forward to seeing what really happens, but not really what really happens, but just being a part of it, because it's not every day that all of the ministers from the black community, from the white community, from the Hispanic community, from the Indian community, that all the ministers get together and march for a righteous cause. And I'm looking forward to that. That parade is getting ready to start in about 2 minutes. So if you're down there at Washington Park, don't worry about it. We will be there shortly, and we will be glad to be there. But, Mom, there's something coming up tomorrow at the Cleves Memorial Church that is a big affair, a great big affair, as the Bosselers called and reminded me, because the Theta Nu Sigma Founders Day will be held at Cleves Memorial Church on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Now, they will be honoring Mrs. Juanita Martin as the Woman of the Year. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Theta Nu Sigma sorority is a sorority where, first of all, you have to be a beautician. And Mrs. Martin, Juanita Martin, is being honored by all of the beauticians across the state as the Woman of the Year. Now, afterwards, they're having a big dinner over at Mrs. Matthews' home, not at the daycare center, but at Mrs. Matthews' home. And Mrs. Matthews is also the bossless. So the Theta Nu Sigma sorority members, congratulations on getting ready for your Founders Day, and I know that it will be an outstanding affair. So that's just two things I'm looking forward to. I have my Saturday evening plan, and I'm looking forward to Sunday morning. What about yourself?
Sunday morning, I will have the opportunity at 11 o'clock to speak at Avery Chapel AME Church. I will be the guest of the Women's Day program there, and Mrs. Esther Swain will be calling, and we'll be telling you about that just a bit later. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show. Calvin, do you think they'll have 15,000 people marching today for Jesus?
I would hope so, because that's what their goal is. If it's not 15,000, I'm willing to bet. I shouldn't say bet, but I'm willing to.
You mess up the preachers.
Mess up the preachers betting. But I know that there will be pretty close, if not over 15,000 people that are willing to march for Jesus. That are willing to march for Jesus.
Well, one thing about it, they'll be carrying a cross, and we have now Esther Swain who will tell us. Esther, how are you?
Miss Swain is getting ready to come on there, Mom. We can get
okay,
closer to
it. Esther.
I know she's anxious. That's one of your sorority sisters.
Yes, that's one of the fine Zetas. Esther, how are you today?
Fine. How are you, Clara Luper?
I am fine. And tell me what's going on at your church tomorrow.
Sunday after tomorrow. Day after tomorrow.
Well, wait a minute now. Won't it be tomorrow?
Wait.
Today is Saturday.
It's tomorrow.
Okay.
I have my Sundays mixed up. Sunday, that's tomorrow, Avery Chapel is celebrating Women's Day. The address is 1425 North Kellum Street. Our own little Erica Patton will do a song and a solo, The Greatest Love of All. We all call her Little Miss Marian Anderson. George Wesley Jr., I know you know him, will do the song, The Wind Beneath My Wing. Our speaker will be the mighty Clara Luper. Dinner will be served after the service. The dinner is only $4. All of you all will be invited. Our pastor is the great Reverend Dr. Stuffy. Visit with us the following Sunday and hear this man of God preach and sing.
Okay, now let me get it straight. Will Hollis be there from Langston University?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We didn't make connections.
Okay, I think Hollis will be there, though.
Well, I hope she will.
That will be tomorrow at Avery Chapel AME Church. At what time?
That's right.
At what time?
Oh, she's supposed to get there about 15 minutes to 11.
Okay, but the services will be at 11 o'clock.
That's right. 10
And-
minutes of 11. I just give you 5 minutes grace.
Okay, I understand that your theme is Avery Steps Out of Faith.
Avery stepping out on faith.
Oh, stepping out on faith.
Uh-huh.
Well, certainly Avery has done that, and you have certainly honored me by giving me the opportunity to be part of your Women's Day ceremony.
That's wonderful.
Well, we'll see you in the morning at 11 a.m.
Okay, I'm the chairperson.
You're the chairperson?
Kalia Smith is and Donna Mae Johnson co-chair. My captains are Vina Doolin, Dorothy Delaney, Wilbur Jones. You know she's ill. She'll be all right, I mentioned tomorrow. Ann Allen, Benny Hill, and Vera Rice. And they're all working beautifully.
Maxine, and many of you know her as Maxine Barbie, but she's Maxine Bowles now. She operates a beautiful shop, and there are so many things that are handmade that are located there. Maxine Bowles, Spencer, Oklahoma. All you have to do is go to 50th and Spencer, and you'll look around and you'll see that, and it will be there. Nearly new shop at Spencer Road, operated by a former student of Dungy High School, Maxine Barbie, Spencer, Oklahoma. A nearly new shop at Spencer 50th and Spencer Road. I've been told that True Vine Baptist Church members are rejoicing because they are in their new building, and they certainly have a building. We'll be telling you more about it when they give us permission to. We didn't get permission, but we want to tell you that that's some building at 36 and Spencer Road. Reverend Wilson is to be complimented. You remember he was on the show and he told us that they were in a building program. Speaking of building, we can build up each other. And it's easier to tear something down than it is to build something up. Well, Calvin, there are books available at Mr. Gates' barbershop. And somebody called and wanted to know where could they get one of those books. And I tell you, that book is out of sight.
Now, that's not the only thing that's out of sight at Gates Barbershop. You know, Mom, I'm very fortunate. I am the luckiest person in Oklahoma. And you know why? Because I went by Gates Barbershop and I got to see Mr. Gamble doing his thing there at the barbershop. And you know, he's been out for a while and we're so glad that he's back. But Mr. Gamble, his knee is it seems to be all right. Now, you have to go by there and see for yourself. But he was moving around that chair like a technician personified. And I'm so glad of the fact that at Gates Barbershop, Mr. Gamble is back. And you need to go by there and make sure that you get your haircut. You haven't said anything about this beautiful haircut I have, huh?
Well, where did you get your haircut?
Gates Barbershop at 2609.
Well, maybe that will
North
help
Martin.
you in your singing this morning. You'll be able to sing.
Well, you know, the haircut and the singing are two different things, but I know I look good.
Okay, well, you look good. That's what you say. Hey, you Garyites. We
say,
have it all together for your homecoming, May 23rd and 25th. It's classy and sassy. Just waiting for you to be there. Garba's Lovin' is your president. You may call up 424-1403. 424-1403. If that's not right, call Garba's Lovin'. Anyway, you can look it up. Hey, you Garyites from Gary, Oklahoma. They're having a homecoming, but you haven't seen anything until you see the Grace Night. Last night at exactly 7 o'clock, the people from Grayson and Hoffman met at Freedom Center, and that was some meeting. Mrs. Maddie Baker presided, and it was really something worthwhile. There's a special calendar of events out about Grayson. Grayson is celebrating their 100th anniversary, July the 7th through the 13th. Grayson Community Center. Contact the mayor of Grayson, Joanne Fox, at 1-918-652-3127 for further details.
Grayson has a mayor. Grayson is 100 years of age. question.
But next week, Bowley will be celebrating a rodeo and barbecue festival, May 24th and 25th.
Well, I can relate to Bowley, Mom. We all can relate to Bowley, but Grayson,
How about
Grayson, Oklahoma, where there's no stop sign and there's a
that's
mayor
what you
there.
say. That's what you say. Oh, I understand Mrs. Gloria Matthews is here. Mrs. Matthews?
Good morning, Miss Luper.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, just fine this morning. I just like to say two things. We'll be celebrating our Founders Day for the Zeta Nu Sigma sorority tomorrow at Cleves Methodist Church on 48th. And we are honoring the vivacious, beautiful Miss Juanita Martin as our Woman of the Year. And we are asking everyone, the beauticians, to please come. It's the 11 o'clock service. And I am the ambassador for this sorority, and we are asking all of you to come out that can. And after then, we will be coming to my house for refreshments at 1500 Northeast 50th. And Miss Luper, you know what?
What?
I would love to see everyone out there to come to Petite Salon and look at these beautiful sales they having today. Oh, they have dresses for $30. It's been $100. They have all these beautiful things. And I am asking everyone to go by and see the clothes closet located on 24th Street. I don't know why I can't ever think of the address, but I'm there every day. But it's across the street from the Martin Luther King post office. Petite Salon. We have all kind of sales over there. And that's where I buy all of my clothes. In fact, that's why they shop for me.
Well,
they shop for me and everything they choose. I like it. Well, I never have to go and shop, so... If you want some beautiful things, go to the Petite Salon and check out all these sales. She's having a drastic sale today, one that like she's never had before.
Well,
she's having dresses for $30. I've said that. And you better hurry out there because she has all these things and they're going fast.
Well, you go to.
I'm on my way over there now, but I'm just
Miss Matthews, Miss Matthews, I've got to get in a word. The Petite Salon is located at 1917 Northeast 24th Street here in Oklahoma City, and it's operated and owned by a member of my church, Mrs. Marie Weekly. And when all those people from 5th Street go up there and do some shopping today, I don't know what you Church of Christ people will do.
Well, we'll be there. They all go there.
Well, Mrs. Matthews, I saw you the other night at that concert that was presented by your college. Tell me about that.
That was the Terrell, Texas college. That's how we support the church. By these young people go around. They go from one end of the country to the other, let them know what they're doing and taking pledges for the school, not for the church, because we don't beg for the church. We just taking it for the school. And this is how some of the children are going through college. And 50 years ago, I was singing. My late husband and I, Chauncey Maynard, we were out there singing, trying to support that school when it first began.
And we didn't know you could sing. Have you applied
I used to sing. Oh, I'm a singer. I used to sing in the chorus.
Well, what do you think about Calvin Luper singing?
Oh, I think it's great. That's the way I was singing.
You were singing.
You certainly know what to say.
Yeah, but just since you're there singing, it's fine. It's not the singing, it's the thought behind it.
It's not the singing, it's the thought.
It's the
thought. I don't want to hear the thought. I want to hear the singing.
Well, you hear the singing. And okay. we're just celebrating this week. We're celebrating the Sigma Nu sorority.
Does that mean you won't be at Avery tomorrow morning? I don't know what I will do without you.
I'll go to the 8 o'clock service at my church, and I'll be at the 11 o'clock service at the church.
I don't know how I'll manage it without you, Mrs. Matthews.
Well, I'll be there. I'm there everywhere you go. My thoughts will be there.
Okay. Well,
that's 11 o'clock, too. I'm sorry.
At Avery Chapel,
I have to be there. I'm
Church.
ambassadors to this sorority.
Okay.
This is our Founders Day.
Okay, then. Well, anyway.
I'm asking the beauticians that if you're not a sorority member to come and support us anyway. And all sorority members, I expect you to be there.
Well, I expect one thing out of you, and you're going to really be shocked because we are dedicating a whole page in the 1997 Miss Black Oklahoma pageant to you. And we have you in about 6 or 7 different kinds of uniforms, and you are looking good like you always do.
Well, thank you, Miss Lupe. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you so very kindly.
I'll be going down for Petite Salon so I can look good.
Well, when you're down there, do some special shopping for me.
I sure will.
Well, thank you so very kindly.
Thank
Now,
you, Miss
Petite
Luper.
Salon is located in 1900 block on Northeast 24th Street. And those of you that really want to look good, like Mrs. Matthews, go on down to Petite Salon. That's all I'm saying.
Mom, I have one question. Does Petite Salon have different sizes? I mean, are
Yeah,
sizes
they have
available for
different
those
sizes.
women out there who are no longer petite, who used to be petite?
Oh, used to be petite. Yeah, they have them for all sizes. All right, you Garyites and Slaughter say all the people from Gary. Wonder how many will that be? How many people are really from Gary, Oklahoma? Anyway,
Well,
I
Gary's a
don't
little
know.
bigger than Hoffman and Grayson, isn't
I
it?
don't know anything about Gary, Oklahoma. All I know that they are sassy and classy, and they're just waiting to be there for their homecoming, which will be May 23rd and 25th. If you need a haircut, go to Gates Barbershop. You need some groceries, go to Hometown. You need to see about your eyes, go to Dr. Dial. You need some insurance. What shall you do, Calvin?
730 West Britain Road. That's Allstate Insurance, where you have the most courteous, the most dedicated, the best people there working for you and with your insurance needs in mind. And they do everything they can. Isn't that right, April? Isn't that right, Shelley? Isn't that right, Alicia? And you know that's right, Merlin, because Allstate Insurance is a great company, but it's a great staff there that Merlin has that is working especially for you and make sure that all your insurance needs are taken care of.
This portion of our program is in memory of Charles Davis. Charles Davis, a teacher at John Marshall High School, the eldest of 3 children, the son of the late Everett and Louise Davis of Boley, Oklahoma. In Boley, Oklahoma, Charles Davis became a member of the Antioch Baptist Church. He went to Boley High School and finished at Langston University, where he received a bachelor's degree in mathematics. And at Langston, he was active in the school band and in athletics. And then in Langston, he was initiated into the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. After graduation, he embarked upon a teaching career that continued for some 36 years. He taught in Frederick, Oklahoma, Moon Junior High, Kennedy High School, Dungy High School, Old Classen High School, and finally John Marshall High School. Davis will be remembered for his contribution to the sports world. He coached the Classen Comets to state run-up titles in 1974 and won 2 state championships during his 14 years at John Marshall High School. 3 times he was recognized as a Coach of the Year, and he won over 300 victories as a head basketball coach. On Tuesday morning at 9:48 a.m., the Lord called Charles home after a lifetime of faithful service. And today we extend our sympathy to his lovely and devoted wife of 33 years. His daughters, Sharita of San Diego and Krista Davis of Oklahoma City. His son, Charles E. Davis Jr. of Oklahoma City. His son-in-law, Chris Maxey, and his lovely granddaughter, Clara Maxey of San Diego. Many of you will know and remember Charles through his lovely sisters, Evelyn Gibson of Oklahoma City. His brother-in-laws, his sister Evelyn Gibson of Oklahoma City and Charlotte Duke of Tulsa. His brother-in-laws, William Duke of Tulsa and Glenn Gibson of Oklahoma City. Yes, you remember Charles Davis. The crowd came. People from all over this country came to say goodbye to Charles Everett Davis. Kenneth Kilgore's as the organist brought us back to the reality of what was really happening. That was Precious Lord by Candace Morrell. Reverend Olis Holder read the scripture and did the prayer. Lyndon Holman sang, I Won't Complain. I've had some good days, and I've had some bad. That was special tributes. These were my words. Today I join with a devoted family, friends, and co-workers of Charles Davis to pay a special tribute to not to a good teacher, but to a great teacher. A tribute which is written in time itself, and one in which time will never erase. Charles Davis lived in a time and worked at John Marshall when it was not popular to be a black teacher at John Marshall High School. Oh, I remember those days, those dark, dismal days. Yes, I remember those days. Days in which Charles Davis's belief in the power of education stepped forward. He believed in the kind of education that transcended cultural, racial, social, or financial backgrounds. He demonstrated personal strength, unparalleled integrity, unfailing tenacity, and a longing passion for education. He demonstrated wisdom, guidance, determination, and dedication. He brought healing reconciliation to those of us that walked those cold, troubled halls. He had a keen mind and a scholarly passion for education. He carried the hopes and the dreams and the aspirations of all of our people. In the final analysis, life is not important except in what we are doing for others. Yes, Charles Davis was a great teacher. True greatness in the victories that he won and in defeats that he so courageously faced. I was so impressed not only with his mathematical leadership, but with his love and devotion for his students and his basketball team. I was so impressed that I went to Charles and I said, Charles, how are you going to take a no-winning team like John Marshall and make winners out of those young men? I told him that I didn't believe that it could be done. Charles Davis told me, watch us, and I did. I was so impressed that I told Charles Davis that if you would win and you were developing a winning team, I will have all of you over for dinner, your whole team. I will let your team select the menu. He won, and he reminded me of his promise, of my promise. And those young men selected, at one time they selected 4 different kinds of meat. And they played with food at my table as they consumed it, as they did on that basketball court in field in Tulsa. Yes, with the same energy, with the same dedication. Charles Davis did his work well. And I joined others in just thanking God for the life of Charles, because I know he will always live in the hearts of all of us that loved and applauded him not only in life, but recognized him in death. We would like to thank the Sheriff Department, Oklahoma City Police Department, for their participation, along with others. Yes, they were there. The Paul Barras, Brian Campbell, Lee Browning, Clifford Bell, Brian Rainey, Billy Mitchell, and Steve Alexander. There were honorary Paul Barras, Maurice Luster, Norris Crittenden, Richard Burrell, Alonzo Winston, Bill Chambers, Robert Marshall, Robert Adams, Lonnie Smith, Jim Burrell, Welburn Richmond, Vernon Harrison, Bobby Marshall, Edwin Fisher, Robert Shelley, and Roscoe Wallace. But that was a song. That was a song that touched our hearts. The song is as old as you can remember. But Mr. Carter did it yesterday. Listen. Yes, we say goodbye to Charles Davis, and I do hope that the principal, the staff at John Marshall, have the ability to realize that there are some things that are more important in life than just being there. Yes, and I will express my feelings directly to them because John Marshall must realize that it was Charles Davis that put that school on the map in basketball. Well, there's going to be a meeting of all of the caddies, the Gladys caddies, the Helen caddies, and I don't care what kind of caddies down in Grayson on next Saturday. And they are having a dinner. And next Saturday, I will have the opportunity to be in Okmulgee, Oklahoma, where I will speak for the Rosenwald High School class, the Rosenwald School reunion. Calvin Herschel Langston died yesterday. Herschel Langston, who lives at 1813 Northeast 56th Street. And you had another death that you wanted to report to us. Will you give that?
Yes, Mom. Mrs. Vila Buford passed away last night, and we want to let the families of Mr. Herschel Langston, and also Mrs. King's family, especially you, Mrs. Rogers, know that we sympathize with you and that you have our very best at this time in your lives.
Well, Calvin, as we come to the end of the program, I would like to thank all of you that are buying ads from our young ladies. I am out of tickets. If you want some tickets, you will have to see some of the contestants. I'm completely sold out of the tickets that I had, my part of it. And those of you, and sure, Catrice Jones would like to thank all of her friends that are certainly supporting her along with others. And you can support by buying ads or patron list for the program. Calvin, people want you to sing happy birthday to some people.
Right, Mom, I can understand that. But, you know, I had the worst week. My harmonica instructor, I went to class and he told me that my best thing to do was to go on back to work and not worry about playing the harmonica. It really made me feel bad.
But Calvin, you got to play that harmonica.
I got to play this harmonica.
I need you to sing
and I'm going to sing a special happy birthday to two people out there whose birthday is this week. One is a young lady named Miss Lizzie. Another is to Sister Gay Willis.
Isn't Richard Brown's birthday this week?
Richard Brown's birthday is coming up this week also.
Yes,
Brown,
be sure and...
This goes to you. Boy, y'all get ready, sit back, relax, and call that friend, call that neighbor, and invite them to listen to the We Can't Singers original member. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, and may you have many more.
This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and I thank all of you for being with me. I thank you for my Mother's Day presents. Oh, my God. I would like to thank you for my birthday cards. I want to thank you not only for myself, but for all of the May people. I will see you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock at Avery Chapel AME Church. I'm going to join the march, and the ministers are going to march for Jesus. March on for Jesus. And I do hope that we all will march, and I want you young people to march for Jesus. That's a good march. Clara Luper saying, whatever you do, I want my flowers while I live, and certainly you've done it. You've given it to me. You understand me. And a special thank you to my sorority sister, Lola Greer, who gave me a gift that I shall never forget. And I shall always symbolize that of true love. Clara Luper saying hello to Freddie Stevens, saying thank you. Tracy Moore was back. And Tracy Moore said he's going to give a scholarship to Miss Black, Oklahoma. Clara Luper speaking, saying, whatever you do, remember Calvin can't sing, but I can sure talk because I'm talking to you right now. Bye-bye. I do love you.
This is AM 1220, KTLV Midwest City.